Our Earth is 4.5 billion years old, yet humanity has only existed for 300,000 years. We've always been curious about intelligent life elsewhere. But what if an advanced civilization lived on our planet long before us? This popular idea is usually speculative, with little academic backing. However, published, peer-reviewed articles do exist, allowing for a scientific discussion. Today, we're exploring the Silurian hypothesis. Inspired by Carl Sagan's quote, "There's no more unlikely thing than for humanity to exist alone in the universe." This hypothesis, put forth in 2018, questions whether traces of a pre-human civilization could be found. Fed up with Anunnaki-like myths, physicist Professor Adam Frank and climate modeler Dr. Gavin Schmidt authored a paper investigating whether modern scientists could detect the traces of a highly advanced industrial civilization that vanished millions of years ago. It's crucial to note these authors are highly successful individuals from prestigious institutions like NASA and the University of Rochester. Despite its speculative nature, the paper was published in a peer-reviewed journal, Proceedings of the International Journal of Astrobiology, bringing it into academic discourse. Such speculative hypotheses in scientific journals often function as thought experiments, aiming to offer new perspectives and pave the way for future research, rather than providing direct evidence. It's important to clarify from the outset, this video's scientific article has no connection to ancient aliens or Anunnaki legends. Still, if pervasive phenomena like Anunnaki and ancient aliens were real, one would expect them to leave a chemical footprint, not just incomprehensible patterns carved into rocks. However, the article we're discussing looks much further back, focusing on 300 million years ago and beyond. To better understand the publication, let's briefly review Earth's biological evolution. Around 230 million years ago, in the late Triassic, the first dinosaur species emerged in what is now Argentina. These included species like Eoraptor, exhibiting transitional features between reptiles and mammals. Dinosaurs dominated the planet for millions of years. This dominance ended abruptly 66 million years ago with a mass extinction, likely caused by an asteroid impact, wiping out not only dinosaurs but many other species. After the dinosaurs, Earth saw the evolution of various life forms. Approximately 4.4 million years ago, the first bipedal, human-like creatures appeared. Ardipithecus ramidus, an early human ancestor, didn't yet resemble us. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, evolved much more recently, only 300,000 years ago. Thus, in Earth's billions of years of history, we occupy a brief segment in the last few pages. One of the most striking human imprints appeared recently, in 1945. Radioactive isotopes from the first atomic bomb test spread globally. Subsequent nuclear tests, plastic production, and fossil fuel use led to human activities becoming clearly visible in the geological record from the 1950s onwards. Returning to the article, you might wonder why the hypothesis is named Silurian. This name refers to an advanced reptilian race from the long-running BBC sci-fi series Doctor Who. For those unfamiliar with the show, a brief summary. An experimental nuclear reactor awakens Silurians, intelligent reptiles who have long slept underground, and the story continues for thousands of episodes. However, the authors make an important footnote, explicitly stating they don't claim the intelligent reptilian civilization from Doctor Who exists in the real world. Instead, they state, although not intelligent reptiles, if another intelligent civilization existed before us, even if highly unlikely, we began this research thinking its traces could somehow be found. The paper asks if industrial traces similar to the last 300 years of human civilization could be found in Earth's 400 million year history. The authors emphasize that human industrial civilization has existed for only 300 years, a mere blink in geological time. They add that leaving a lasting trace in such a short period is difficult, as cities, structures, and even bones erode and disappear due to plate tectonics. Interestingly, the article doesn't explain how dinosaur fossils from 65 million years ago still survive. If such a civilization truly existed, they propose its existence could be detected through chemical traces in rock layers, carbon isotopes, plastic-like molecules, heavy metals, and radioactive residues. However, they admit the difficulty of this approach, as such traces can also be produced naturally. Distinguishing between natural and artificial origins becomes nearly impossible. For example, volcanic eruptions and industrial facilities both release carbon, making it hard to identify the source. They illustrate this with the Paleocene thermal maximum 55 million years ago, a global warming event with rapidly increased atmospheric carbon. Was this due to an industrial civilization or solely tectonic movements and natural carbon emissions? They state a clear answer is not possible. They further claim that an ancient, long-lasting, and advanced civilization on Earth might not leave traces due to its advancement. In short, they say, the longer you live, the less trace you leave. They explain this by stating that as a society develops, it shifts to energy sources that reduce carbon emissions. For example, tracking the traces of wind energy production becomes very difficult. However, they avoid explaining what happens to the traces left by other processes before transitioning to wind energy, leaving this question unanswered. The article concludes that human activities have profoundly impacted Earth's climate and ecosystems in just a few centuries. However, if humanity disappeared, almost all direct evidence of our society or a similar previous civilization could vanish within a few 100 million years. Their main point is that humanity's most durable imprints are plastic layers and radioactive sediments from nuclear tests. Yet, even these traces would become indistinct after 10 to 20 million years, meaning traces of a Silurian civilization that vanished 100 million years ago could be entirely erased. They also add that if such a civilization was destroyed by nuclear war, an astrophysical catastrophe, or uncontrolled nanotechnology, most physical evidence might have already disappeared. The article acknowledges that the hypothesis offers no concrete evidence, but emphasizes it's a topic worth considering. The main goal is to ask, do we have a sufficiently developed geological memory or technology to detect civilizations that lived before us? The Silurian hypothesis indeed presents an intriguing idea. What if an advanced civilization existed millions of years before us, and all its traces have been erased over time? To summarize and add our own commentary, the article concludes that if a civilization emerged 280 million years ago and vanished within about 1 million years, we could never prove their existence with current technology. 280 million years ago, Earth was a single continent, and oxygen levels were significantly higher than today. We have fossils of colossal insects and plants from this period, but no traces of civilization. This hypothesis faces significant criticism in the scientific community. The most striking critique is the lack of direct evidence. No structural remains, tools, or fossils have been found. Since we can find bones of dinosaurs from millions of years ago, the complete disappearance of all physical traces from such an advanced civilization is unconvincing to many scientists. What do you think? Are we truly the first advanced civilization on Earth?